Welcome to the Red and Rev Sports Show Tournament Edition. We're coming to you live to help you out with your tournament brackets, for it's March Madness time, baby. March Madness time, and we want to help our fans of our Facebook page and beyond with their tournament brackets. How you feel, Red?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We're coming on a Wednesday afternoon. Seems a little bit different not coming in on a Sunday afternoon, but
Saturday.
A Saturday afternoon. That's right. I'm thinking about church.
Yeah.
So how you feel about March Madness, man?
I hate it. Be glad when it's over with.
Oh, really, man? How you gonna hate this time of year? For a basketball fan, it's just like Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Somebody got their holiday cheer and all.
Yeah, man.
It's cool when the tournament gets started, though.
Okay.
Once the competitor, once I see guys out there competing, I feel a little different.
All right. Well, we are getting ready to break
There's
down.
so many teams, so many players. How we gonna do this? How you gonna remember all this stuff, man?
Well,
we're gonna try though.
We're gonna try our best to help you out with your tournament brackets on today. And
I need the help. They're gonna help me out.
All right. We're gonna help Red out, but to help Red out, I got some help to help Red. Come on in, Coach Patrick Thomas, one of our regulars.
Yeah,
Coach Thomas, our special guest who's been on
How you doing,
our
Coach?
show. You doing all right, Coach?
Glad to be here with the Run DMC of sports entertainment, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have Coach. We're glad to get ready to do this tournament brackets. We want to help you all out with your tournament brackets. We know that some of you all are in office pools and so forth and so on, and we want to help you out so that you can intelligently fill out your brackets. We know that there are 4 regions. That you got the East, got the South, the West, and the Midwest, and we're going to break down each region. Also, we're going to do our best to pick individually teams that we think have a realistic chance to come out each bracket, also a dark horse to come out each bracket, and then some bracket busters, some persons who could be prime, or some teams rather, who will be primed to provide an upset special to break some brackets. So we want you to get some insight.
Got that any different from the dark horses?
Well, the dark horse has a realistic chance of coming out
Okay.
of the region.
You just picking somebody's going to jumble up the mess.
Bust up your bracket. Where most folks' brackets by Saturday might be blown up.
Mine is blowing up after the first game.
Well, Coach, how you feel about the tournament before we start talking?
Well, this is one of the few years, well, maybe not a few years, that there's at least 6 or 7 teams that could actually win it.
Whoa,
Okay,
6 or 7 teams?
Wow.
That's more than in the professional league right now.
Wow, that's
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a deep tournament.
Okay, well, I can't wait to hear the coach's analysis on this. You got 6 or 7
He
teams?
got 6 or 7 teams.
I only got like 2.
Well, you know what? I mean, that's not really far-fetched because we don't have that dynamite team like we did 2 years ago when everybody just knew that Kentucky was going to run away with it. So it kind of makes sense that there may be about 6 or 7 teams since there's no just clear-cut favorite. All right? Well, let's move on to these brackets. We're going to start with the East, the Big East. All right? And when we get to the East, you got Nova as the number 1 seed, Duke as the number 2 seed. Those are the 2 teams leading that region. So when we look at this in the Eastern region, I'm going to start with Coach first. Coach, what teams in the Eastern region have a realistic chance from your point of view of coming out of that region?
Well, first of all, let's just go with the defending champions, Villanova. They still return young John Hart, who's Conference Player of the Year, who can fill it up at any time. And then, as much as I hate to say this, how can you leave out Duke? I could, but unfortunately, America will never leave out Duke. You got them. They seem to have hit a stride right now, winning the ACC tournament with Tatum and Kennard and everybody everybody's favorite Duke to hate. They always have one, Grayson Allen, hitting their peak at the right time. So those two teams right off the bat say they're going to be in it to win it.
Okay, so you got Duke and you got Nova as the only two. You don't give Florida a chance?
Florida plays in spurts. They got a decent offense. They run the floor well, but I don't think, based on how they finish, they don't have enough to win it all.
Okay. Red, what do you think?
Well, out of all the teams, I said I only got two teams that could possibly win it all, and one of them is in this conference, in this bracket right here, the East, and that would have to be Duke.
Duke.
From all the stuff I've been hearing about Duke all year, from the guy that's been getting in trouble, I think his name is Grayson Allen. Okay, then the guy you was telling me about the other day, I think
Jason Tatum.
Yeah. And with the experience and the Coach K's reputation, I always know he's gonna have his boys ready for the tournament. And with the only competition in there, well, I can't say that because a lot of my dark horses are in the East. But with the only competition in the East bracket being Nova, possibly SMU with the upset chance of Marquette, seeing that they're the best three-point shooting team in the country. Duke, Nova, SMU, and Marquette.
So is Marquette has a realistic chance to come out, or are you calling them a dark horse?
I'm calling them not a realistic chance to come out the entire bracket, just to maybe bust it up a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe make an upset 1 or 2 games, they three-point shooting just get real hot, and they catch a team by surprise.
Okay. And I have to agree with Coach in terms of his top two. You can't count out Nova, even though in past years Nova would be the one to break your heart, because they'll have a high seed, have a great regular season, and then break your heart, losing in the first or second round. But last year they reversed that thing.
Reversed the RPI.
Yeah. Nova is the defending champ, won on a buzzer beater. They still have Jason Hart coming back. He's their leading scorer at 18.9 points per game. Then you got Jalen Brunson, who's on the team, another guard. Villanova always has good guard play. He's averaging 14.8 points a game. So Nova has a chance. Also, I look at Duke, and actually I think Duke is the favorite. We see why Coach may do all that. He's a diehard North Carolina fan.
And you'll see why they're going to win it.
And in Tar Heel country, Duke is known as puke. All right, so this is why he was seeking to do the little puke face. But anyway, we know that Duke definitely has a great roster this year. And actually, they've been they haven't played up to their potential because they've been marked by injuries, distractions, and then even Coach K had surgery during the course of the season.
Excuses.
But we do know that they have probably, if you look at their roster, and we put all the hateration out of the equation, arguably they have the most talented roster, and arguably they have the best player in the NCAA in Jason Tatum, who's the freshman 6'8", who lit the ACC tournament on fire. And as Red, I would also have to go with SMU as a dark horse. SMU has some transfers and some ballers who can play. They got Semi Ojeleye, I think I said that. He's averaging 18.9 points a game. Okay, so he is really he's really making himself known on that team and making them a viable force to be my dark horse to come out of that particular region. So I have Duke, Nova, and the dark horse I got is SMU. Now, do y'all see any bracket busters in that first round in particular, who might mess up somebody's bracket?
Oh, I already called Marquette because I said they was the top three-point shooting team in the country, and I'm also gonna give an edge to maybe the Baylor Bears.
Okay. Now, how far do you see Marquette going? They play South Carolina in the first round, so you're saying that they're going to beat Marquette. So are you saying that they could possibly beat Duke in the second round?
That would be a humongous upset right there. I know Coach would love for that to happen. All right, but those 3-point shooters will have to be on fire. First game and the second game. Let me see if I can bring up some of their names up here. Who exactly we talking about? 3-point shooters. Well, like I said, they shoot 43%.
43%.
That's the best in the country right there.
You're always going to be in the game if you can shoot 43%.
Leading the scorer is Mr. Howard, averaging 13.2 points a game. And they got another guy with size, Fisher, and another guy running the floor is Johnson.
So what you just said, do you think they could beat Duke?
No. But they'll beat South Carolina that first game. They'll give Duke a scare and a run for the money. But come on, you live by the 3. Chances are you probably gonna die by the 3. And with a team like Duke, and I know Coach K knows that they're the top 3-point shooting team. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach K already scouting for Marquette. He already assumed he's going to win the first game. So he's probably already scouting Marquette now, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get his defensive game plan together during halftime of the Troy game. So
okay, Coach, you see a bracket buster?
Watch Virginia. Virginia is going to be a Sweet 16 team. Mark my word, the best defensive team in the country. They're keeping opponents under 50 points a game. Watch Virginia carefully. Now, if they can make an opponent play their tempo, they're going to move on. I guarantee you, I'm saying that there's a Sweet 16 team. Now, when they get to Nova, I don't know, but we'll see.
Sweet 16, Coach.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying they'll definitely beat the winner of Florida and East Tennessee State?
Yes, sir. Their defense, they play defense like the hair is on fire.
Well, what about the offense? So
If they can hold you down, they're going to score some points. They're not worried about them scoring.
Go ahead.
They're not worried about you scoring. You scoring. They're going to score enough.
All right.
Virginia.
Now there's some analysts who are suggesting that the sleeper in this region right here is North Carolina Wilmington. And they're basically saying North Carolina Wilmington is going to beat your sleeper.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
No, sir. I'm glad that North Carolina Wilmington got in the tournament. Have a nice day. Thank you for coming. But Virginia's going to shut you down with that high-flying offense. It'll be over. Virginia's going to win that game. Florida, East Tennessee. Nice for you all to show up. Virginia is going to the Sweet 16, and they will play Villanova. And I don't know if they can stop Villanova, but they're gonna put some pressure on them.
Wow. All right, Coach. Well, I think Virginia will take out University of North Carolina Wilmington. I don't really see any major dark horses. I don't really see Marquette making the noise that Red may see them making.
Only because I like 3-point shooting.
I don't even know if they'll make it out the first round. But you've heard it from Red. You've heard it from Coach. Besides Duke, Nova, and we talked about as a dark horse, Red and I, SMU. You heard it from Coach. Coach said you might want to look at Virginia. And Red said you might want to look at Marquette. Yeah. Rev says don't look at either one of those last two.
Come on, Marquette. You better not lose in that first round. At least get to Duke, Marquette. That'll make what I say, at least validate what I say. At least get to Duke, and at least don't be blown out by halftime. At least go down to the last 5 minutes. Then I'll feel validated.
All right,
but I know Coach wants them to pull the complete upset. So.
Exactly. Kill.
All right, now here's the thing that people are wanting, because this is where people win their brackets. It's really not about what you do on day 1 or day 2, because those are only a few points. It's about who comes out the bracket where you get the most points for your tournament challenge or whatever you're in. So, who you got coming out the East?
America, I'm going to feel sick when I say this. And my stomach is churning. I may have to leave for a few minutes and come back. But I'm going to have to go with Duke.
He's going with Duke. Don't take his North Carolina card away from him, UNC fans. He's being objective.
and I'm being sick at the same time. But Duke is playing Villanova. You know, it's hard to repeat. And Duke, they have caught it at the right time. And this is when you want to catch it at tournament time. So Duke is coming out of the East.
You heard it. We got one Duke. Red, who you rolling with?
I'm going with the number 1 seed, Villanova.
Oh.
No way am I picking Duke to come out the East. I'm sick of Duke. We always hearing about Duke. They're going to play a good tournament in the East, but they're going to come up against Villanova in the, I think it's the Elite 8, maybe even the Final. No, they can't be in the Final 4. So they'll come up against Villanova in the Elite 8, and it's going to be a close game, but Villanova is going to show the world why they're the number 1 seed. They're going to take down Duke, Coach K, Grayson Allen, and my boy Tatum. Sorry, y'all. We're going to get close, but no cigar. This is Villanova's year, back to back. At least for the East bracket. I ain't saying they're going to win it all year. We got to go to the other brackets. But as far as the East, Duke is going to be close, but no cigar. They're not coming out. It is Villanova all the way. And I don't even know college basketball that much, but I'm telling you, Villanova is coming out the East.
I'm glad Red made that disclaimer at the end. He doesn't know basketball that much.
College
basketball that much. But I'm not going to knock his opinion. I mean, Villanova is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and they could easily come out of the Eastern region.
Easily.
But there will be no repeating this year, as I posted on Facebook. When Final Four time comes around, Villanova will be watching the Duke Blue Devils play in the Final Four while they eat cheesesteaks in Philly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Duke is too strong. They're too big. They're too long for Villanova's roster. They can go big, and they can have a front line of 6'8", 6'10", 6'5", 6'6", and then 6'9". And that's a lot of size for Villanova. Villanova is typically guard-oriented. Last year they did have a post presence, but they no longer really have that post presence. And I think if the game is centered around perimeter play, Duke has the upper edge because their perimeter players not only can shoot, but they also have the size advantage down low. So I have to go, as Dickie V would say, with the Dukies, baby. Duke going to the Final Four in the East. And I'm going to say it, put it like this. Book it! They're going to the Final Four.
I hope they offense ready for Villanova. Because they bring an offense like my Falcons about that offense.
I hope Coach K is going to remain silent.
Well, we see we got two Duke haters, all right? But nevertheless,
I hate Duke.
You got two Dukes, especially coming from Coach. That was a big decision right there. And then
I'm going to be the number 1.
Then you got one Nova. So we got one Nova. So think about it. You go with what you feel, but you've heard two Dukes and one Nova. So now we're taking our sports knowledge tournament talents from the East and going to the Midwest.
Whoa.
As the number 1 seed, we got Kansas. The number 1 seed, they lost in the first round in the Big 12 tournament because their top dog, Josh Jackson, got into a little trouble, and therefore he was suspended for the first game of the Big 12 tournament, and they lost. At the number 2 seed, you got Louisville coming in there at number 2, coached by Rick Pitino. And then you got several other teams that are very good. I got to make special note of Oregon. Oregon had a good run in the Pac-12, but they lost in the championship game to Arizona. One thing that you want to note about Oregon, they lost their top big man, Chris Boucher. He tore his ACL, so he's no longer in the picture, and that is a huge setback for Oregon. Also in this region, you have the Big Ten champion who came out of nowhere. They almost lost their lives, but they gained their basketball lives on the court. Michigan, hail to the victors. They came and won the Big Ten championship after having that plane scare, and they were on a mission and won the Big Ten championship. With all that being said, I'm going to start with Red this time. Red, who has a realistic chance coming out of the Midwest region?
Well, you got 3 teams that got a realistic chance coming out of the Midwest. 3 teams so far that I can, say. You got Kansas, you got Frank Mason, my boy Josh was suspended, but those guys will be back. But it's just always something about Kansas that they'll make it to the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite 8, and then just something will happen where they'll choke and they just don't make it all the way. I've seen Kansas choke more years than actually make it all the way to the Final Four or actually win the championship. So right now, Kansas has a chance, but they have a chance every year. So pretty much what is that saying? Okay? They have a chance, but don't be surprised for the choke job. Also, now this is my favorite, the Louisville Cardinals, led by Rick Pitino. Got some of the best.
Don of basketball.
The best, some of the best.
Women around.
We're gonna not think about his personal issues right now. We're just gonna keep it professional. We start thinking about personal
Where
issues.
Magic City is. Magic City on campus.
Okay, we all know Rick Pitino has a little wild side about him.
And his players do too.
Party time.
We ain't gonna even talk about the little restaurant where, oh Lord, we don't even want to think about what happened in that restaurant.
Right.
But like I say, professional-wise, Rick Pitino has his guys ready. Louisville's always there every year. They got one of the best defenses in this country. Got one of the best perimeter games in this country. Louisville Cardinal is going to be my pick.
Coming out of that bracket.
Coming out of that bracket.
All right. Now, you sounded real emphatic about your pick in that region.
Louisville won't let me down.
So, you talked about Kansas. You talked about Louisville.
Now, I ain't forgot Michigan. I'm with you on Michigan.
So are you looking at Michigan as a team that has a realistic chance to come out, or are you looking at them as a dark horse?
Dark horse. Something would happen. Something would have to happen. Well, no, they end up having to play Louisville. So, that's going to be a good one right
That's
there.
in the second
Now,
round.
see? Lord have mercy. Well, I'm sorry, Michigan. You just not going to make it, man. Because Louisville is going to be ready. Coach Pitino is not going to get put out the second round, okay? But Michigan, they got a young team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe y'all not ready this year, but y'all have a great team. I still think Coach Pitino is going to be ready for you guys in the second round. You're going to win the first round game, but if you coming up against Louisville in that second or Sweet 16?
No, that'd be the 32.
Oh, okay, 32? No, you're not going to make the Sweet 16 this year, Michigan. Going to give it a good fight. I just know Coach Pitino ain't going to let me down. And if he do, I'm going to banish him back to that little bar he was in and keep him there permanently. Because how you going to lose to... You don't lose in all 32, Coach. At least go to the Sweet 16. I just don't see Louisville being upset that early. I give you a better chance of Kansas being upset that early than Louisville.
All right, and I mean, Kansas it's quite conceivable Kansas could be upset because they play Miami, the winner of Miami and Michigan State. Yeah, and either of those two teams, those are tough teams. So.
You know what, this bracket right here, this Midwest bracket is probably going to be one of the most competitive.
All right. I give it second most competitive.
Well, I know the one you're going to
go first. It's no brainer. Coach, who you got? Realistic chance.
Well, Kansas is always perennial coming out of a bracket to get to the finals. Kansas, Bill Self, this is his, I think, 22nd year in the tournament. I mean, not his 22nd, but it's Kansas' 22nd. They play well enough to win it every time. Now, as far as Louisville, good, but not great. Mm-hmm. They got a number 2 seed because they play in the ACC. And they finished up there. Wow. Now, they did well, but you lost most of your team, including Montrezl Harrell, who was your best rebounder. You have good perimeter. Inside, you're a little deficient, and I don't think you're going to make it out of there. What everybody keeps forgetting about are the Oregon Ducks. Dylan Brooks, a candidate for the Player of the Year, is running that team. I understand they lost their big man, but Dylan Brooks can carry that team. I mean, look who they're playing. Let's go through the team right off the bat. Rhode Island. No, I'm sorry, not Rhode Island. They're playing Iona. Iona what? I own a car. I own a timeshare. What? Okay, Iona, you won your conference tournament. Congratulations. You're not beating Oregon. Oregon is going to go through everything at the bottom, and I predict it's going to be, it could be Kansas and Oregon in the finals, but now there's one team that people are forgetting.
Okay.
Purdue Boilermakers.
Oh my! Purdue.
Wait a minute.
Purdue.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Purdue.
First of all,
Purdue not.
with a front line of Vincent Edwards, who's at the 4, and Caleb Swanigan, who is the double-double player of the year candidate.
He definitely got size.
He averages a double-double every time he walks on the floor. They are a sleeper to come out of it. Now, when they play Kansas, that is going to be a better ball game than people think. Kansas has Junior and Jackson, but Purdue has size. Now, Kansas is not shooting well. That could be a major upset, and Purdue gets by them. Watch for Purdue. Now, I have a question, and I'm just glancing. Why is Michigan State in this tournament? Why?
Well, that's because of Coach Izzo's reputation.
I mean, you got to be kidding. Oh, what is look, 18, 19 and 14? Really? Hey, Coach, I don't see who you playing.
Iowa State.
7th in the Big Ten.
No, they got Miami or Florida.
No, they play Iowa State.
You should know. Miami or Florida.
Oh, yeah, Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida. If you don't beat Michigan State in this condition, you just disrespected the ACC. And I don't trust you anyway, because y'all are always one of those teams that look good going in the tournament, you lose in the first, second round and go on. So Michigan State might beat you. So my 3 teams, Kansas, Purdue, stop shaking your head, Oregon.
Please, ma'am, please, sir, do not waste a pick on Purdue. Please don't. They will break your heart every year. The last time that team has done anything in the NCAA tournament, they had a player by the name of Glenn Big Dog Robinson.
Whoa.
And that's been years.
At least 20 years.
So every time, do not drink the Purdue, a.k.a. Purdue juice. Whatever you do. I respect Coach's judgment. I mean, on paper, they always look good. On paper, the size look good. But do not, I emphasize, do not choose Purdue. And I'm going to tell you a reason why
316, baby.
Not to select Purdue in just a few seconds. But here are my people who I believe have a realistic chance. Now, because even though this region has the names, has some good names, across the board they're not deep with the most talented teams. If Kansas were in a different region, I would not pick Kansas to come out, because I honestly believe that Kansas is the weakest number 1.
I agree.
Me too.
The weakest number 1 out of all the regions. They
They
probably will be the first number 1 out the tournament.
I agree.
All right, when you're rolling on Frank Mason, solid kid.
Junior.
He's a senior actually. 5'11".
Oh no, I'm saying his last name.
Yeah. Actually, he's Frank Mason III.
Oh no,
trees.
And they got a son, I think, Frank Mason IV.
I bet he don't hit no trees.
But when you are banking on him to lead you to to cut down the nets, I don't think you have a realistic chance. Now, if Josh Jackson didn't have all these distractions, he's a freshman phenom. That kid is the truth. But I think he has too many distractions going on, and I could see them probably getting beat, maybe even in the second round, to the winner of Miami and Michigan State.
Told y'all they were going to show.
Oregon, and I'm going to use Oregon in the past tense, had a realistic chance. But I don't think you can just dismiss the absence of Cruz Boucher.
No.
I mean, he gave you 11.8 points a game, 6.1 rebounds, and I think he averaged like 2.5 blocks a game.
Next man up.
That's hard to replace. That next man up might work in football.
Yeah.
But next man up doesn't work too
You
much.
can't replace that size.
In college basketball, you know, you could maybe even do that in the NBA. Like Cleveland got a next man up policy. Bogut goes down. Come on in with sign. Larry Sanders from the YMCA.
Next man, you can buy.
They got a wish list. I told you, LeBron got a little Christmas list. He just waiting on holding it. Every time play go down, he just check them off.
But unfortunately, college campuses don't have that luxury. So that loss of Chris Boucher is going to really hurt Oregon.
7-footer, right?
Yeah, that's why I can't really give them a realistic chance. But I do give a realistic chance to Michigan. They are playing great basketball at the right time. They walked through the Big Ten. Guess who's in the Big Ten? Coach said one of his people to come out is Purdue. But Michigan is in that same conference and they won it all. So do not sleep on Michigan. And this is why, let's take it off the court.
Okay.
Off the court. I mean, we all have lived life.
Yes.
And we all are thankful when we are granted second, third, and fourth chances. Don't get it twisted. With that plane scare that Michigan had, their lives flashed before their eyes. So now they got a new lease on life, most importantly. So now their whole perspective about life has changed. And now these guys will not take life for granted ever again. So this is why I can see Michigan, just by virtue of what happened to them off the court, to be a major threat to come out of this particular region. And I don't look at them as a dark horse. I look at them as a true contender to come out.
Sound like your favorite.
To come out. And actually, I'm also put Louisville in there.
Yes.
Louisville, you know, they have a solid team. They have Donovan Mitchell, who's averaging 15.7 points a game, 4.6 rebounds. You know, now the only thing I don't like about Louisville, which is interesting about a Rick Pitino coach team, they don't really shoot the three ball well. They don't have any player that plays major minutes shooting over 40%. When you look at Rick Pitino coach teams, typically they have players who can really shoot the rock. But this year's team is deficient of that element, and this is why I see them having a realistic chance to come out. But I don't pick them to come out.
As long as they got camera phones, they're in trouble.
Now, here's my dark horse. Here's my dark horse. And I got to give some love to a player that I played against when I went to that great school on the hill called Mays High School.
Uh-oh, I got to hear this.
Back when I played for Mays, our biggest rival was the Douglas Astros.
That's right.
When I graduated in 1995, one of my toughest and best opponents played for the Douglas Astros. His name was Antonio Reynolds. He was affectionately known as Matumbo.
Whoa.
He was a ball player. He ultimately left Doug, had a great career, and went on to Rhode Island.
Okay.
He went on to Rhode Island. And now he is an assistant coach at Rhode Island. And big ups to you, Antonio Reynolds. Antonio Reynolds was just inducted to the University of Rhode Island Hall of Fame. Now, I'm not being a homer because my boy Antonio Reynolds coaches for Rhode Island. But they have a legitimate chance because they have some major D1 ball players on their team who transferred from other schools to go to Rhode Island. Their leading scorer is E.C. Matthews. All right, he left Memphis to come to Rhode Island. They got another kid named Jared Terrell who left the Indiana Hoosiers to come over to play for Rhode Island. And then they had a kid who was in the top 100, Stanford Robinson, to they recruited him to come to Rhode Island. And I like their chances. Because when I look at this bracket, I clearly see them beating Creighton. I see them beating an injury-plagued Oregon because Chris Boucher is not there.
No.
And realistically, they have a chance, I don't say they will, but they have a chance of either beating Michigan or Louisville. I believe Michigan will win it, but don't sleep on the Atlantic 10 champions, the University Rhode Island. You can put them as your bracket buster, or if you want to really jump out into the basketball deep,
don't do it.
You can even advance them, in my opinion, to the Elite Eight.
Where's Rhode Island?
Oh my God.
In Rhode Island.
Okay. I just want to know where it was because
it's above Boston. That's how far up it is.
It's big.
No,
Okay.
All right, now when y'all see Rhode Island put in that work, you're going to say Rev said it first.
I ain't seen Rhode Island go far since Mauricio Gay was on the team.
That's a Mays High reference.
Yeah, Mays High.
He was a freshman when I played for as a senior.
That's probably their last tournament.
Yeah, he was a freshman. Matter of fact, Matumbo, who I just told
Odom was on the team.
Lamar Odom, Antonio Reynolds. That was back when they were coached by Jim Harris.
Last decade. Oh,
yeah. Jim Harris. Well, I remember.
That's yeah. He messed up Georgia.
Well, one thing about college basketball, I may be, not know all the players, but the coaches, I remember. I know Jim Harris.
All right, so we're through with Midwest talk, but we got to make our pick on who's coming out of the Midwest. Who you got? Red first. Who you got coming out? You said Louisville.
Yeah,
you already picked
you
already went in for Louisville.
I'm going to go in on Louisville, and I'm going to see if do I have in it. I'm not taking Purdue, as my dog was. I'm not taking the choking Jayhawks.
So you got Louisville.
Yeah, I get it. Are you right?
You got Louisville. You went hard for Louisville.
I went hard for Louisville.
You went all in the camera for Louisville.
That's right, and I'm going to stay with Louisville. Rick Pitino, just stay out the restaurants and stay out the Magic City clubs, and we're going to be okay.
Hold on. Let's make sure we see where they're playing. Oh, okay. He got too many eyes in Indiana because Louisville's close to Indiana.
Perfect.
So he won't get into no trouble.
No, coach. No, not one of these.
So Rick Pitino, your wife, Rick Pitino's wife,
you're safe. One of these, coach.
You're safe.
And drawing up
too many eyes will be in Indiana for him to get in any trouble. So who you got, coach?
Somebody else's wife who wants safe. All right, that's enough.
All right, let's strike that one for the record.
Well, going on tradition, and I can't say anything about them. Just go ahead and say Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Kansas
coming out of the Midwest. Unfortunately for a lot of people, these two don't believe it, but this is one of the weaker regions, so Kansas should win it all. So that's Kansas coming out the Midwest. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby.
The only thing I agree with Coach is when he said this is one of the weakest regions.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I agree. But do not go with Rock Chalk Choke Job Jayhawks. They will break your heart. Bill Self, great coach, but will freeze up in a minute.
Oh man!
But I'm not going to discredit Coach's decision because this region is a bit weak, so they have a chance. But I know Jalen Rose will be happy with my pick. I know Chris Webber will be happy with my pick.
I don't know.
I know Jawan Howard would be happy with my pick.
Is he still around?
And also,
they coach in Miami Heat.
And also, Glenn Robinson will be happy with my pick. I'm talking about the shooter, number 41. Played for your Lakers for a little bit. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Glenn Robinson. Glenn Rice. Okay. Glenn Rice will be happy with my pick. Glenn Rice. I'm going with Hail to the Victors. University of Michigan.
Oh, God, no.
They're going to ride that train that they rode in the Big Ten tournament, and they're going to take it to the house to the Final Four. So I'm going with Michigan. I know Louisville has a good shot, but I believe Michigan will take down Louisville.
Don't forget your uniform.
Yeah. I'm like, you rode that train. I hope they don't ride that plane.
Whatever carrier or whoever charter you use, don't use it for the next round.
Rev is getting back to his Fab Five memories, man. He's going back to the
I'm telling you, Michigan is playing great basketball, and again, the spiritual element is kicking in for me.
I understand.
You can't dismiss a life-changing experience, and those boys have a new lease on life.
Side note, what y'all don't realize, he was supposed to be part of the Fab Five, but the Fab Six didn't sound right, so he got on in Morehouse, and he's a better man. So hey, that's just a little something you all didn't know.
Coach hitting low blows today, boy.
Now, Coach might be participating in a little bit of hyperbole. All right, a little bit of hyperbole. I was decent, but not Fab Six decent.
See how that didn't sound right? Fab Six? No, Fab Five.
Yeah, you're right.
Five.
So Coach has Kansas, Red has Louisville, I have Michigan.
Okay, I like this. All
right, so you make the choice on which one works best for you. So now we're leaving out the Midwest and we're going farther west with our picks. You got Gonzaga, who plays in a mid-major as the #1 seed. They've only lost one game all year, and I think they lost to BYU. And then with the #2 seed, you got Arizona with the #2 seed, and you got several other teams holding down the fort to complete that region. So we'll go back to Coach. And I don't know if we need to spend a whole lot of time on this region. How many teams do you give a realistic chance to come out?
Maybe three. Gonzaga, the college basketball Virgin of America's team. Oh, we love Gonzaga. They are so, everybody loves them. They always going to be #1 and #2 in the rankings. Okay, yeah, we'll get back to them. Arizona, Sean Miller, cutthroat coach. I love what he did against UCLA. Let them know, hey, what goes around comes around, partner. You don't do anything like that to me. So, I mean, basically, those two teams have a chance to win it. Now, if I had to pick a sleeper out of all this group, watch, and you may not like this, watch Notre Dame.
Notre Dame?
Watch Notre Dame. If you notice, now, they're consistent on shooting. If their shooting is on, nobody can touch them. But if their shooting is off, no, then they make the game. They keep themselves in game with good shooting. And I've seen them work, and I've seen them when it's not working. But hey, if Notre Dame gets hot, watch them in this tournament. Also, Maryland.
Wow.
Quietly.
They're real quiet.
They stumbled. Now, listen, they stumbled, but at one point they had won 15 out of 17 games. Watch Maryland with one of my favorite players, the controversial Melo Trimble. Who's coming on and getting close to averaging 20 plus. Yeah. Watch him. Watch them. That's all.
Before Red jumps in, I have to really give Coach some credit right there on that Notre Dame. I didn't even see that one in myself, but as I'm looking at the bracket, Notre Dame definitely has a chance to make some noise. I don't think they'll win the bracket, but they definitely can make some noise because you're looking at a first-round matchup with Princeton, then the winner of West Virginia, Bucknell. I'm not real big on Bobby Huggins' West Virginia team, so they could easily beat West Virginia. Then you're looking at probably Gonzaga coming out of that top bracket, and Notre Dame, because of the competition they faced all year, could easily get up and beat up on Gonzaga. So I see something right there, Coach. That's a good pick right there. That was pretty wise pickup right there. I didn't even see that one myself.
If you all want to win any money, I'm not going to give you my bracket, but, just listen to some things I say. I'm not telling you everything. I can't give you everything. No.
Red, jump on in there, man. Who you got?
This is going to be simple for me. I got 3 teams coming out of this bracket that with a realistic chance, and only 3. Gonzaga, no explanation needed. 1 loss, America's team, one of the best teams in the country this year. Notre Dame, because like Coach said, because they shooting. But also you got to be weary of them because when they off, not shooting. And they can get beat by anybody. They definitely can get beat by West Virginia, who I have beaten Bucknell. But Notre Dame over West Virginia as long as their shooting stays consistent. And the third team, this is so simple right here. Arizona easily. I like their coach. I like their players. They play with fire. They play with passion. They've taken the personality of their coach, and they have, shown up in the Pac-10 all year. They beat UCLA twice this year. UCLA, they beat them twice this year. So that let me know all I need to know. They got heart. They got passion. They are coming to ball. Arizona, Gonzaga, and Notre Dame are my top 3 picks in this region.
Wow, that's good choices right there.
Shout out to our day to go against.
I can't even say anything different than what Coach and Red have said. I mean, Gonzaga is a clear-cut favorite, number 1. Also, Arizona is the favorite. And as Coach highlighted and Red piggybacked on what he said, Notre Dame is a force to be reckoned with in that region. Now, I see a couple of bracket busters in there, and they're traditional bracket busters, one in particular. Virginia Commonwealth, VCU. They are a 10th seed. I think Arizona will take care of them in the second round, but don't be surprised if Virginia Commonwealth makes some noise. Also, in the first round, don't sleep on Florida Gulf Coast.
The Dunkers.
Okay.
They are a human highlight reel.
They showed up a few tournaments ago.
2 or 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
So don't sleep on them. I can easily see them playing or beating an uninspired Florida State.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh, my gosh, you win the prize. Oh, my God.
Okay, so y'all got that upset?
That can easily happen. Now, I may not pick it on my main bracket, but on some of the brackets that I will pick it because Florida State, I mean, they can look like a championship team one day, then they can look like somebody's JV team the next day.
Amen.
So if you need a sleeper or a bracket buster to break up the brackets, because it doesn't do no good to just pick all the top seeds. You're not going to win like that.
No.
All right, but you got to pick some upsets if you're trying to win. And Virginia Commonwealth may be one, and Florida Gulf Coast may be another in that bracket. Right. So as we move on, we all think that Gonzaga, Arizona, and Notre Dame are the clear-cut favorites to come out of that region. Now,
I like Northwest. I just don't think they
Northwestern. They have a great story. Yeah. You know, the first time ever making the NCAA tournament, besides the great Coach did yawn on him, did he?
God, they got Chris Collins. Coach, come on, give Doug Collins boy some love.
Doug Collins, little baby boy, some love now. The first time in history.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I mean, come on now. That's big news right there.
Oh, you know, wake up. A little tough.
Wake up.
Northwestern? Okay.
No, we're not saying they're going to come out the bracket, but it's a great story.
Yeah, that's why
I
don't think they're going to beat Gonzaga.
I mean, they got a legitimate chance to beat Vanderbilt.
Old Yellow was a good story.
But check it out. As you went in on Michigan State, right?
Okay.
You got to go in on Vanderbilt. They have no business in the NCAA tournament.
They're going to lose.
They got about 14 losses. Then they got cremated by Arkansas in the SEC tournament. The only reason why they made it because they beat Florida 3 times.
Okay, Northwestern wins. They play Gonzaga. Old Yellow dies. End of story.
I mean, we're not expecting them to go to the Sweet 16.
Okay, it's a good story.
But it's a good story, Coach.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
I'm happy for
Let's show some love. I'm happy for Doug Collins. I'm happy for Mike Greenberg on the Mike and Mike show. I'm happy for Michael Wilborn on Pardon the Interruption. All of those are Northwestern graduates.
I ain't happy for Wilborn because he a Falcon. Please, I ain't forgot what you said about my Falcons, Wilborn, and I never will forget it. So, no, I'm not happy for him.
All right. Well, he's a Northwestern graduate, even though Red is not happy for him. But Northwestern is a great story. First time in the school's history that they've made it to the NCAA tournament. So, with that being said, who do we have? Who do you have coming out of that region?
Arizona.
Arizona.
No question.
No need to talk about it.
No need to think. They hardcore. They go at opponents and they beat them down and make them play their style ball game.
So Gonzaga doesn't have a chance against Arizona?
Man, they got a chance.
But they won't do it.
I got a chance to be, a serial killer.
No, serious.
I got a chance to.
I thought you said you might have a chance to make it
For real.
to the NBA.
You know what I'm saying?
I got a chance to.
To a serial killer.
I got a
This
chance.
is the darkest episode of the Rev and Run okay.
I got a chance to eat bad chili at Sonic. I mean, everybody has a chance. But no.
I got a chance to cut LeBron off on the highway and keep him from winning the East.
See, I do LeBron.
There you go, man. We talk about
Okay,
NCAA
LeBron,
basketball,
okay. All right.
and he had to find a way to hate on LeBron.
That's right.
Oh,
He didn't even play college
I
ball
don't like it
because he know it. Yeah, you want to talk about 4 choke jobs? LeBron had to play 4 years of college. That would have been
Man,
4 choke jobs.
No,
okay?
LeBron would have won 4 championships. That's what he won.
All right.
I mean, but
Yeah,
no,
passing it to a teammate.
let's go back to NCAA basketball, Red.
Okay.
Stay on topic. Who is your choice, sir?
Well, Coach took a little more thunder, man, because he obviously must have known I was going. I love teams with fire and I love teams with passion. And, man, Sean May, the way he got them Arizona boys. Sean Miller, the way I apologize, y'all. Sean Miller, he's my favorite coach in the Pac-10 right now. But since Coach chose Arizona, I guess I'm going to be a little competitive. But God, I don't want to
Speak of who's going to win. We're trying to help people with their brackets.
Okay, Gonzaga is going to win the bracket, okay?
Oh, my God.
Gonzaga is coming out the bracket. They're going to upset Arizona. I'm calling it an upset because I really think Arizona is the favorite. They're going to upset Arizona and make it to the Final Four. That's going to be it. The America's team, 1 loss, and they're going to still have 1 loss when Final Four time come around. You heard it here, folks. Gonzaga. I don't care if Coach and Ram will disagree with it. Gonzaga. And I'm not taking the easy route, not taking the easy way out.
You says it all.
But Gonzaga is winning.
I got to roll with Coach.
Out here on the island.
Arizona is the clear-cut favorite
I said
to
that.
come out of this bracket. So if you're filling out your bracket, go with Arizona. Arizona is more tested than Gonzaga. I think they have a better coach than Gonzaga. I believe they have better players, athletes, and talent than Gonzaga.
Why did I pick Gonzaga?
And
Contrary.
Gonzaga, you just want to be a contrarian.
Yeah.
You would think it's just trying to
Because I do all three. I want all three just to pick
add
Arizona.
some spice.
Yeah.
We trying to be for real, man.
Okay.
We already all had 3 different picks in the
All right.
Midwest.
What is it? I changed
It's
my pick.
Arizona.
Arizona for all 3 of us then. Because we all believe in Arizona.
Because
Yeah.
Gonzaga's coach's name is Mark Few. He has few appearances in the Final Four. Actually has none. What he has done in Gonzaga is a remarkable job. He's kept them consistent. But when it's time to win the big games in the NCAA tournament, like Stephen A. say, he comes up like a mini-me. So
Like
therefore,
he played too.
therefore, if you're trying to go with the sure shot, rock and roll
Hey, Arizona.
with Arizona. They're the Pac-12 champions, and they probably will come out of this region. So Arizona for me. Moving on, one more region, then we'll pick our champions, and then we out of here on this special March Madness NCAA Tournament edition of the Red and Rev Sports Show with our dear friend, Coach Patrick Thomas. Now we're taking it to the Dirty South region.
Woo.
And arguably, this is the hardest region out of all of the regions. Arguably, this is the region where your brackets will either be the winner or loser. Because you got so much in stake in this particular region because you have quality teams. I mean quality teams that can win the championship. So with that being said, you want Red to go first?
Yes.
He wants.
Still nothing.
He don't want Red. He doesn't want Red to steal his thunder. So Red,
Oh, don't worry, Coach.
who do you have as a true contender to come out of this region?
Man, when we say this is the region that possibly has the most teams that can possibly win it all, we are telling you the truth. I mean, we got UNC, we got Minnesota, we got Butler, we got UCLA, University of Kentucky. I mean, God.
Red just reading out there, Minnesota.
I told y'all college basketball. Not
He must think that's the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They
And Carl Anthony Town. I mean, they
all
could win the NCAA tournament with
Yeah, they got a
with
lot.
that Andrew Wiggins.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Red said Minnesota.
Hold up, I got to hear the logic behind this.
Come on now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's because they was a fifth seed, but realistically,
Okay,
these are the
realistic.
teams that I think got a shot. UNC, of course, UCLA, and the University of Kentucky. Dark horse, not too sure right about now, but I'm definitely
You
University
said
of Kentucky.
Minnesota got to be the dark horse. Kirby
what?
Bucket might be happy with that.
I may roll Minnesota to be the dark horse, but I like UCLA. I like UCLA and Lonzo Ball. Now, I'm not too fond of his father speaking out right now, but
He has the right to keep remaining silent.
please.
Clown.
And we know during the tournament he's gonna be talking so much more, so he may win the right to remain silent award for the next 3 weeks during this tournament. Okay, but UCLA, I like them. I mean, they've been one of the best teams in the country all season long. Got definitely the best point guard in the country. Hopefully he'll be with my Lakers soon. And UNC and University of Kentucky gonna give them a big time matchup. Gonna give them all the competition they can ask for. But in the end, I'm gonna take UCLA to come out of this hard side. And I can't wait to hear what my two guys say about
So
this.
you've
Because they
already
probably
made your
gonna-
pick with UCLA. All
Yeah,
right,
I'm
you
on
got
UCLA.
UCLA.
I'm never gonna pick UNC and never gonna pick Kentucky.
Never ever.
I'm haters on both of them.
What's up with your hateration on Kentucky and North Carolina? You don't like blue or something? I mean, you a man's radio. You got to love blue. What's up with
They're
that?
good teams. I just don't cheer for them that much, you know.
What,
They're always the favorite.
what, they hurt your feelings or something? You lost a bet before.
Possibly so.
Okay. I know it had to be something. All right, Coach Ro. I already know who you going with.
Well, you can't leave out, like Red said, UCLA. They're solid from top to bottom. They, like I said, been playing good all year. You can't leave them out. Kentucky, you know, one of the blue bloods of basketball, Malik Monk and Adebayo, and when they play and they're on, they will that team to win. They're young, but what else did John Calipari have a one and dones anyway? It's not even a question. They're going to be there. But I just need to ask y'all a question. You two.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you look out the window, what color is the sky?
Blue?
No.
No, here we
It's
go.
Carolina.
I knew
Did
this
you all
was-
hear me? That sky is Carolina blue. Every time you look at it, it's not Duke blue. It's not Kentucky blue. Carolina blue.
You knew where you was going with
North
this guy.
Carolina, those are my boys. Been my boys since back in the 70s. Don't ask how old I am. I don't care.
So you with Ford,
Phil
Phil
Ford,
Ford, back in
Hubert
the-
Davis. We
Mitch
can go
Kupchak.
on. We can go on and on. But Carolina
George Carl.
is going to avenge that loss to Duke and they're going to get it right, and they're going to go all the way and win this region. Now, if I had one dark horse,
Let me see what you about
watch
to say.
out.
Let me see what you about to say.
Watch out for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
What? The
Watch
Cincinnati.
them.
They ain't done nothing since Kenyon Martin.
Oh, not
At least
wait a
pick
minute.
Minnesota.
man.
Yeah, at least
Cincinnati
Minnesota.
Bearcat.
Pay.
My cousin Marcus would love what you just said, but what?
Who is Cincinnati's first round opponent?
Kansas State?
Thank you for coming. Just
Yeah.
barely got determined. Who do they play next?
They play
UCLA.
UCLA.
Watch how Cincinnati slows the tempo against UCLA.
So you're picking Cincinnati over UCLA?
I'm not picking them over them. I just said watch them. They are the ones who could pull the potential upset in the tournament. Watch Cincinnati. And if you don't watch Cincinnati, I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot to say leave my allegiance to the SWAC, Texas Southern. Congratulations on making the tournament.
Okay.
You all are,
HBCU love.
HBCU.
All right, I'll give you that.
all I can say is,
HBCU love.
you had a great season, one of the better seasons in SWAC history. But don't turn the bus off. That's all I can say. Leave the bus running, because by the time you step off, it's going to be 40 points. When you get on, it's going to be 50.
Oh, Lord.
Have a nice day, Texas Southern, because you're not beating UNC. I don't have any more.
All right, Coach. So you going with North Carolina to win,
Yes, sir.
and Red is going with
UCLA.
UCLA. Ah,
Wait a minute, what about Rick Pitino, boy, at Minnesota? Don't count him out.
man. I'm definitely not counting them in.
Man, you got to count them something.
I'm counting them out.
Well, we know where he'll be.
O-U-T.
We know where he'll be at when they lose.
Red, in the words of a New Edition song, cool it.
Because here it is, cool it now. Because here's Red talking about Minnesota. I don't even see them getting out of the first round. If you're looking for a bracket buster, look at Middle Tennessee State, baby. Middle Tennessee State has a good roster. They have the core of their team coming back. They knocked off, this is the same team that knocked off Michigan State last year. They went 17-1 in Conference USA. They have a 1-2-3 punch in Ja'Cory Williams, Giddy Potts, and Reggie Upshaw. Williams is a transfer from Arkansas. He played a little SEC basketball. So don't go with Red with Minnesota. Minnesota will get knocked out in the first round. Now, am I
by another team with blue?
am I picking Minnesota? I mean Middle Tennessee State to come out of that bracket?
No.
Of course not.
You see who they play
But
next right now.
I'm giving you a bracket buster. They will play Butler.
And Butler will beat them.
I think Middle Tennessee State will go beat Butler.
So you think they
I'm
get
putting them in the
16?
Sweet 16.
Okay.
You heard it here from Red first.
He said.
Middle Tennessee State. Butler played in that weak Big East. The only thing they've done is beat Nova twice.
If Minnesota win this game on tomorrow, these two guys are gonna owe me a huge apology.
No, if they make it to the Sweet 16, I'll give you an apology. Because they are supposed to win, even though I'm not giving them a chance to win. They are supposed to win. But if you need a bracket buster, look strongly at Middle Tennessee State. They would have to play Minnesota. I think they could easily win that one. And they would play the winner of Butler and Winthrop. I'm going with them to beat either one of those teams.
There's a lot of blue teams in this tournament.
Yeah. So that's my bracket. Now, my people who have a realistic chance to contend, of course, you heard it from them. North Carolina, of course, they're the number one seed. Kentucky has a good shot.
Another blue.
UCLA.
Yeah.
I like their shot.
Little yellow.
But here's my dark horse. And I thought Coach was going to bring this team out when he said his sleeper dark horse, but he came with Cincinnati. What?
Oh!
Do not forget
I forgot.
the Wichita State Shockers.
I forgot.
Oh, man.
That's a good one.
Are you kidding me?
I forgot.
Okay.
I looked right past
The Wichita State
I forgot.
I knew he was going because he had them all.
They have a shot to go to the Elite Eight.
Wichita.
They could
They
easily,
still got the same coach, right?
yes sir, they could easily wind up
They always.
in the Elite Eight. Don't be surprised if in the second round they beat Kentucky.
I forgot about them.
I think Kentucky will win, but Wichita State has experience. They can slow Kentucky down, and Kentucky has a problem when you are relying on freshmen to carry you to the ship. So Wichita State, don't sleep on Wichita State.
A 10th seed.
They can easily beat UCLA.
Hold on.
I mean, I'm not picking them to beat them, but they don't be surprised if they beat UCLA. Wichita State is a veteran-laden team. Let's not act like UCLA has been there recently.
Yeah.
I mean, UCLA just became relevant this season because of Lonzo Ball and TJ Leaf,
It's a good
who's a solid ball player, power forward, solid ball player. He could easily be a lottery pick.
Any key in the rhyme?
We
hope
hope,
not.
for his sake,
Okay.
he's not a part of that Leaf
Yeah.
tree. All right.
Okay.
Come back to the clover.
But Wichita State could easily
Not a green.
mess around and come out even out of that bracket. I think North Carolina would beat them. But don't be surprised if Wichita State, if they beat Kentucky, if they beat UCLA,
Not happening.
Then Cinderella got her glass slipper on. I'm going to give them a shot over at UNC.
If they do get past UCLA,
I would give them a shot over. I mean, they'd be on one heck of a run.
yeah, they would.
Wichita made the Final Four a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's
They
why
did.
I forgot that. I forgot.
Well, no. Did they?
Yeah.
It was one of these years they was up there.
That was the year that they was Butler in it. That was the year that Butler was in it too.
Yeah.
And then they almost beat Kentucky one year.
Exactly.
The last year that
Yeah.
they got Boston Celtics coach was at
They
school.
hit
Yeah.
That's when they were there.
Yeah.
They hid down the
So
bottom.
don't sleep on Wichita. Now, who's my pick? I give UNC a legitimate shot again. I give Kentucky a legitimate shot. UCLA a legitimate shot. And I'm also going to give Wichita State, as a 10th seed, a legitimate shot. But when I look at the brackets, I got to go with UCLA.
What?
I gotta
Yeah.
go. I have to go with you. As much as I don't want to hear LeVar runs his mouth too much ball, as much as I don't want to hear his mouth, because if UCLA goes to the Final Four, it's going to be mouth almighty on steroids.
Oh my God.
I'm
All
ready
right,
for it.
we won't even be able to handle it. But
So you two are picking UCLA?
here's why. Here's why.
I'm shocked you thinking it.
Here's why.
Okay.
When I look at matchups, UNC name recognition would give most people the reason, would motivate most people to choose UNC. But when I look at North Carolina's roster, I'm not really that impressed. I mean, Justin Jackson is the ACC Player of the Year, and that's your best player? I mean, he can shoot, but is he really a go-to man? I mean, Joel Berry is a solid point guard, but do I think he's better than Lonzo Ball?
No way.
And therefore, this is why I'm picking UCLA over Kentucky, because UCLA has already beaten Kentucky this year. And they went to Rupp Arena, to the Bluegrass State, Lexington, Kentucky, and they beat them. So I can see UCLA beating Kentucky again. I can see UCLA beating Wichita State. All right? So when I pair University of North Carolina versus UCLA, I see two ball players on UCLA's team that has far greater talent than anybody on North Carolina.
So
Tell me this now. I know you going with North Carolina, but let's be real. If Lonzo Ball was on North Carolina's team, would he be the best player on that team?
it's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Because how do you know that he would have adapted to Roy Williams' style? You got a different style at UCLA. They let him be the man and run free. Now in North Carolina, he might have been playing under a different style. He might not be averaging the points.
I'm not even averaging, but he would be making the difference. Lonzo Ball,
He'd make a difference.
as much as I can't stand his father, but Lonzo Ball is a playmaker, and he has what I call, and I know Red's going to get upset, the LeBron James factor.
Uh-oh.
He makes other people around him better.
But now, would he be the player of the year in ACC?
I mean, he could.
Better than
If
Tatum.
Justin Jackson, I mean, that's not speaking volumes.
Justin Jackson's the ACC
The
player.
ACC Player of the Year.
Ball.
Come on now. I mean, that ain't saying much.
Don't go by the Janet Jackson syndrome. What have you done for me lately? What you just saw. Go over the whole year what Justin Jackson did.
I mean,
And if you dispute that, I'll walk off this show right now.
walk off.
Nobody's walking off the
Here's
show
your
here,
invitation,
guys.
like they do in church. But here, but here, come on now. I'm just being objective, Coach. I know UNC is your team, but when I look at the talent, Lonzo Ball and T.J. Leaf are just exceptional talents. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 players on UCLA that's averaging double figures. T.J. Leaf. You can't forget about Coach Alford's son, Bryce Alford. He's one of the best shooters ever to come through UCLA.
Okay, do this.
All right, look.
Okay,
No. I want you to listen.
I wanna
They have 4 players that are shooting over 40% from the three-point line.
That's amazing.
TJ Leaf, Bryce Alford, Lonzo Ball, and Aaron Holiday. They have 6 players averaging over 10 points. That's, in this current NCAA, that's impressive.
But now, you looking at Justin Jackson for the ACC term. Justin Jackson averaged 18 points a year this year.
He did.
And that was before they did the voting before they win the ACC tournament.
But can you say Justin Jackson get me a bucket?
Okay, I'm gonna say. I tell you what, you know what we like to go, right? If UCLA plays North Carolina,
This is a
y'all
food
look at me
bet,
right
not a
now.
money bet.
Look at me right now. If Lonzo Ball outplays Justin Jackson right now in that game, you know we'll go to eat, and I'll pay for it.
How many times?
I'm part of this now.
What do you mean, how many times?
How many times?
How many times we go?
Yeah. How many times you willing to pay my way?
2.
Hey y'all, I'm a Facebook y'all when I'm eating good on Coach's
Please do.
Me too,
Please
Coach.
do.
'Cause
I bring Red too.
Yes,
Red
I'm
too.
talking-
Hey,
everybody.
Red, we gonna eat
That's what I'm
good.
saying.
Just
I got to go here.
Hey,
I'm taking UCLA.
we go to our spot. Hey, y'all I'm gonna post a picture from Big Child.
Woo!
That's the stir fry place.
Justin
All
Jackson
you can
will-
eat. I'm gonna get full off Coach's dime because Lonzo Ball is gonna take UNC
Out.
Carolina gonna destroy them, and I'm
Thank
sitting
you.
there with a
Hey,
smile.
I might become a LeVar Ball fan.
I can't wait for this.
I can't wait for his boy
Yeah, me
to
too.
put that work on UNC.
Okay.
But UNC is a solid choice. Actually, they have a greater chance of coming out the region than UCLA because of the top half.
Yeah.
Okay.
The top half
We're
is
going to have more competitive games.
right at the bottom. See, UCLA can get tripped up by Kentucky or Wichita State.
Who y'all going to get tripped up by?
Don't be fooled on Arkansas now.
No. And that's what I said on Facebook, and I'm not
By
going back.
Minnesota.
Man, if Red say Minnesota one more time,
All right.
I mean, the gold.
we may have just a Rev show. We might take the red out of the Rev if he says Minnesota one more time. All right, but anyway, Arkansas is probably their biggest opponent on the top half. And as I said earlier, don't sleep on Arkansas because Arkansas actually matches up well with UNC. I don't see them beating.
Ooh, that Seton Hall right there.
Butler.
Seton Hall
Yes,
playing
yeah.
Arkansas, yeah.
We got Butler.
Nah, I think y'all destroyed Butler.
Okay.
But-
My time.
Man.
Y'all, this is.
All right, here we go, man. But so you got UNC, you got
UCLA.
UCLA, I got UCLA. All right, so Coach, if I'm correct, you got Nova.
Nova, Kansas, Arizona, and UNC.
Who's your champion?
UNC. As
I
no.
don't even ask that.
I mean, if they play Arizona, that scares me because of Arizona's offensive prowess. Villanova, they got lucky last year. Everybody saw with that Hail Mary that we didn't defend. And Kansas, your weakness in your division is going to tell on you in the store. UNC cuts down the net.
So you got UNC cutting the net.
Yes, sir.
You got in your Final Four who?
I got Nova, UCLA, Arizona, and
UC.
Louisville.
Louisville. Exactly. That's what I got. Exactly. Louisville. Okay. And
So-
who do I see cutting down the nets? UCLA.
UCLA.
Oh.
That's right.
So you got Carolina, UCLA. I got Duke, Michigan, Arizona,
And
UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
I got Duke beating Arizona. I got UCLA beating
UNC.
No,
Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And I got the Blue Devils. I got Duke.
I'm about to join you, Coach. Yeah.
We'll holler at y'all. I got Duke
It's a crime.
cutting down the nets. Coach K winning another championship.
And I got Big Mouth LeVar Ball talking all that smack on National Championship Day because he's going to be watching his son cut down the net and he's going to go straight for that camera and say, Lakers, you better trade D. Russell because my son is coming to the Lakers because he just won the national championship because UCLA is going all the way and I'm bringing LeVar Ball with us.
Tell LeVar Kardashian to be quiet.
The basketball version of the college.
You ain't lying, man.
This is going to conclude this March Madness NCAA Tourney edition. Hopefully we've helped you be able to intelligently fill out your brackets. Don't expect us to be 100% correct because even though we have our opinions, the games are played on the court. And we don't know what will happen, but we hope that what we have shared with y'all will be somewhat helpful to you as you fill out your brackets.
Give it up to me, y'all. I made it through this show. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but boy.
Red freestyled his way
I did.
through the show.
I freestyled.
Red is a freestyle artist.
But I told you, I'm pumped now. Now I'm ready for these games.
So
this
now
is the most exciting time of the year.
You've heard our predictions. Fill out your brackets. They got some great tournaments that you can join in, bracket challenges. ESPN has one. There's some restaurants that have some bracket challenges. Try to win you some free stuff. You know, those y'all gamble, God bless you. You know, whatever you got to do, do it. You know, whatever you do,
we gotta
just do it.
Back.
Just be intelligent about your decisions. Do not, ladies, and I know some ladies, I ain't saying all ladies because there's some basketball aficionados who are ladies, but do not pick your teams based upon who got the prettiest uniforms. Please don't do that.
Stop.
Don't do that, okay? Don't do that.
I'll leave you at the restaurant.
If you need to, again, listen to picks so you can intelligently fill out your show, you can always go back to the Facebook page, the Red and Rev Sports Show, to review this show once again. It will not be coming down anytime soon. All right? Until next time, we want to thank Coach Patrick Thomas.
We got to have Coach back when we do our NBA playoff.
Oh, of course.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's going to be
indeed.
good.
Coach will be back to help us out, and we thank Coach for carving out some time to join us for the Red and Rev Sports Show. We'll be back on Saturday, and we can talk about some of the picks that we made.
Yeah.
Were we wrong? Were we right? We'll see you on Saturday. Until next time, we'll holler at you on the Red and Rev Sports Show, and we're out.
Woo!